had a very strong commitment to pedestrian and cyclist, just general street safety issues. We want everybody who's using our streets to be safe. So to that end, there has always been this commitment to having a town-wide 25-mile-per-hour speed limit, because one way to just make the road safer is to slow everybody down. Drivers who are going slower can react quicker. So if they're next to a cyclist on the road and that cyclist, is evading a pile of rocks that the driver can't see, but all they see is a cyclist swerving into the lane, they can react quicker and slow down. So if we can just slow everybody down, it makes this, everybody safer. I don't know the statistics exactly, but generally speaking, if there is a negative connection between a car and a pedestrian or a cyclist, the cyclist or the pedestrian has a way better chance of walking away from that without a serious injury if the driver's going 25. So we have this commitment to slow everybody down, but the fact of the matter is that many of the streets, especially the busiest streets in our town, are not streets that are controlled by Metuchen, right? They're controlled by the county. So we had to work with the county to do that. And it was many years in the making. Tyrone would attest to this, right? You've been working on pedestrian and cyclist safety issues for a long time. But in 2019, we were able to crack that nut. We were able to lower the speed limit to 25 miles per hour on all the county roads in Metuchen. That includes Main Street, which, where a lot of our businesses are, Central, where, much more of our, we have many more businesses there. So it was a gigantic step forward for us. Now, we still have one more road left, right? That would be Route 27. And that is the state road. So again, it's a road that we don't have control over, but I can report that just this morning I had a very successful meeting with the state regarding this. They're on board with helping us, and I don't think this is going to happen in the next month, but I think by the end of the year we might be able to see a change on Route 27. So I'm very excited about that. Now, I just wanted to also say that lowering the speed limit is only one component of what makes the street safer, right? So although we have lowered the speed limit, but clearly our work is not done. We have many other things that we need to do to make our roads safer for pedestrians and for cyclists. And there are many things that we have been talking about, many things that are in the works. We got a huge grant for Main Street that should go a long way towards improving pedestrian safety. However, it is a federal grant, so it's going to take a few years for that to come to fruition. But rest assured, we are working on those changes, and whatever we can implement as a town, like daylighting the corner right here in the center of town, we will be doing those things. And why does that matter to business? Like, who cares, like, if you look at the Facebook page, you'll see that, for every person who's very pro lowering the speed limit, there's another person who thinks it's the worst idea ever. But why is it important for businesses, especially our downtown businesses, our Main Street businesses? Well, I used to have so I don't know if you know this about me, but I had a store on New Street in Metuchen. And one way for us to increase our business was to increase foot traffic. If foot traffic was increased on our street, our sales went way up. And it was what really kind of underscored that for me and my business partner Deb, who I'm pretty sure most of you know, was when Woodmont started to be built, right? So that's Woodmont started to be built in June, and that was during the time when we had Junebug every Friday night. So like the first 2 Friday nights, our sales were amazing. June was like a second Christmas for us. It was so good with Junebug because people would park in that parking lot and then walk past our street. The 3rd Friday night, the parking lot was closed because they'd started construction, and our sales went down by 70%. Wow. 70%. So foot traffic is very, very important, and if people don't feel safe walking on our Main Street or walking by our businesses, then you don't get that foot traffic that increases your sales. So that's why it's important for the town to do whatever it can to make our streets safer for foot traffic. So that's a little bit about the 25 mile per hour. It's been a long, long time coming. It was a huge accomplishment for us. I think it showed the kinds of things that can happen when local government works hand in hand with county, and hopefully we'll see that example with state government. like the things that we can get done. What the county is committed to helping us meet these goals. So I'm hoping that by working with them, we can do something more than just lower the speed limits, right? We can improve our crosswalks. We can get bump outs so that, you know, it's easier to cross the street. I mean, one big thing for me would be to have a bike lane. And we do have a grant to put a bike lane on Grove. So little by little, we're implementing all of the, not all of the change, but changes or some of the plans that we have from our bike and pedestrian study that we had a few years ago. And we're updating that as we go along. So hopefully you'll be able to see the improvement of people walking through town and visiting your businesses. But that's not the, you know, that's not the only thing that affects good business in Metuchen. So I put my notes here. So. I think the other thing that is a constant conversation, especially for our Main Street businesses, is parking, right? It's a nonstop conversation. And I happen to be on the parking authority. So we are taking a look at how we can improve parking for everybody, right? One of the biggest problems, especially downtown, is employee parking. So we're looking at ways that we can park employees to free up spaces for customers on the street. We're also looking at how we use our municipal lots. Is there a way to co-use the lots? And so we are updating our parking study. We had a parking study not too long ago, but it was pre-Woodmont. So now, post-Woodmont, we're just updating the study, and we will be making recommendations about how we can improve parking within our downtown area. But one of the things that we started to talk about, which I think is really exciting, is we were approached by a company that installs infrastructure for electric vehicles. So they come in, they assess your parking lots, they assess your street parking, and then they make recommendations as to where we could maybe put in some infrastructure for charging stations. And this company does it for free. So basically they come in and, you know, they work with the town, and we haven't selected that company yet, but we are looking at their proposal. And we'll be soliciting proposals from a few other companies. But what's cool about that is if a person parks on Main Street to charge their vehicle, it's a 30-minute charge, right? They have to be there for 30 minutes. It takes 30 minutes to charge the car. That means for 30 minutes, they're going to get a cup of coffee. They're stopping in to pick up a bottle of wine, you know, do their banking, whatever it is. It's kind of a cool way to support infrastructure that reduces our carbon footprint while at the same time increasing foot traffic for you guys. So it's, you know, these are the kinds of things we're looking at that not only increase safety, but hopefully do something for your business and make an impact on climate change. The other thing that we just had a meeting about that I thought was kind of exciting was we're continuing to look for ways to connect the Greenway to our businesses, our local businesses, right? Because, you know, we don't think about it so much in the winter, but when people are out in the summertime and they're riding their bikes or going for a hike on the Greenway, we want them to end up in Metuchen, having ice cream, getting a beer at Haley's, doing whatever it is, you know, all the great, you know, having a great meal at a restaurant. So we've had a few ideas about how we can better connect the Greenway to our not only our Main Street businesses, but like our Central Avenue businesses. So look for some of that. That'll be coming in the future. It's for me, it's always been a big thing. I always wanted to somehow connect the Greenway straight up New Street. You know, like how do we get a path from the Greenway, you know, to the, well, now it'll be the parking lot at Whole Foods, and then a signage that sends you to Main Street to show, you know, we have a lot of cool places to eat, a lot of cool things to do on Main Street. And I know after a bike ride, I love going to get a beer. So, you know, I know I'm not the only one. And so we're just going to continue to do those kinds of things that will, you know, have the kind of impact we're looking for the town, which is we're trying to get people out of their cars, we're trying to get them walking, we're trying to get them to feel safe while doing those things, and we're trying to make it so that our businesses are as prosperous as they can be. So at this point, I'd just like to, you know, invite you to ask any questions you'd like about some of the initiatives we're working on.